What is GitHub Copilot? You must have heard about all the buzz around Copilot. Now, this is one-stop video where you will get all the answers about the newly launched AI-based pair programmer. So, what is pair programming altogether? According to Wikipedia, pair programming is like having two people team up to write code. In this setup, one person known as the driver is actively typing out the code, while the other, called the observer or navigator, is keeping an eye on each line of the code as it's being written. Just as Copilot assists the pilot during the flight, checking and cross verifying the critical actions, the observer or the navigator in the pair programming act as a second set of eye, helping catch errors early on and suggesting improvements as and when required. Now, the question here arises is how GitHub Copilot act as a pair programmer. GitHub provides all the functionalities of Copilot as an extension for your IDE. This feature offers autocomplete style suggestions for the code that you have typed and supports all the major IDEs like Visual Studio, NeoVim, and JetBrains. Copilot is trained on massive dataset of code from public repositories on GitHub, enabling it to suggest code that is relevant to your current context. Copilot increases the productivity by helping you write code faster and more efficiently, suggesting code that you would otherwise have to type yourself. It can also assist you in writing better code by suggesting solutions that are correct, idiomatically, and efficient. Now the question arises, how does Copilot actually works in real life? When you start typing code, GitHub Copilot generates suggestions for what you might want to type next. These suggestions appear in pop-up windows and you can accept them by pressing tab or enter. Copilot goes beyond individual lines, offering suggestions for entire functions or classes. To do this, simply write a comment describing what you want the code to do, and GitHub Copilot will generate a suggestion. Moreover, Copilot excels in suggesting alternative solutions, refactoring code, writing test cases, and even generating documentations. Let's give you a demo of what GitHub Copilot can do for you. For that, let's switch to IDE. Right now I'm using VScode for the demo. To get started with GitHub Copilot, you will need to install extension for your IDE. You can then sign up for a free trial or purchase a subscription. You can see I have already set up Copilot on my IDE. You can watch the video for the link in the description to get Copilot for free and then get started. So for the demo, I'll create a class factorial.java. Now let's add a comment. Write a method to find the factorial of a number. And as you can see, Copilot has suggested a main method, and I'll accept it by pressing tab, and the factorial method. Again, I'll accept it by pressing tab. Now I have got a method to find the factorial of a number. This just does not work with Java. You can do this with HTML also. I'll give you another example for HTML. As you can see, just write down HTML tag and the closing braces are there. And you can see we have got session for head and title and closing braces for head, and for the body also we have got this again for closing braces for body also. So it has created this whole HTML page without coding anything, and you can see this how does it look on a viewer. Now with GitHub Copilot you can also ask questions with the tag that I have shown you with Q colon and write down your question. So I've written explain solid principles to me and I have got the answer. Again, if I want something else, I'll write down Q colon and then a question. So explain singleton pattern, and I'll accept this by pressing tab, and I've got the output, the singleton pattern. Now, if I have another question like what is factory design pattern, it is auto suggesting me now something related to all the design patterns. It will be suggesting me. If I quickly change the context from here and ask it something like tell me all the creation design pattern, it will be telling me that. So this is very nice where you can ask any type of programmatic questions from your GitHub Copilot and it will answer you all that. So now let's head back to the Java code and we'll go to GitHub Copilot Chat and then let's ask it to explain this code to me. So I have got this explanation for this particular code. So for all the historic code that are in your repo, if you want an explanation, just write down /explain. Now let's suppose I want to write down its test case. I'll write a test case for this factorial method. And again, I have got this method. So I'll just press tab and to accept this solution. Now for this main method, I'll go there and write down a comment called the factorial test method. And now you can see it has intelligently added that call method. And let's run this. Yes, this is running quite comfortably. Now, as you can see, this method that it has suggested me was not perfect. So I can go back and ask it to fix it. Now it's thinking and writing down the correct solution. Now you've got the correct solution, and you can see the problem was that it was not applicable for the negative numbers there. And for even if you would have passed zero there, it would have gone in an endless loop. And those two conditions are handled over here now. Now, what I have given a demo is just the tip of the iceberg. There are lot many things that GitHub Copilot can do for you. I'll create separate videos for each of them. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel
so that you don't miss any updates.